Sawadee-ka and good afternoon. This is the English language summary of the press briefing by the Center for COVID-19 Situation Administration, or CCSA, for Monday, the 20th of December, 2021. As usual, let me summarize for you today 2 to 3 points that were detailed in the Thai briefing given just now before I go through our usual updates, particularly as it concerns reports that were circulating this morning regarding the Omicron situation in Thailand and abroad and how it will impact us here in the country. The CCSA this morning took a look at the comprehensive situation of COVID, both globally and regionally, and noted that the infection rates, although increasing, we are also seeing the rate of deaths decreasing. Because of the Omicron variant and its detection in many different countries, a lot of countries have imposed stricter measures. In Thailand, we discussed some of the information or shared some of the information regarding latest clusters from abroad that have arrived in Thailand. One particular cluster was discussed, and that was from a group that traveled to participate in a religious activity in the Middle East. Among the infection numbers, 18 cases in this group were found COVID positive. 6 are of the Omicron variant, 8 are of the Delta variant, and 4 more are awaiting confirmation. All of them are currently being treated in a hospital. There were also other clusters discussed, and in some, this has brought the total number of Omicron cases to a little over 60 in Thailand, with one among these locally detected. That case was a case of a diabetic individual who likely contracted the Omicron variant of the COVID-19 disease from the partner working in the travel industry. The second topic that was discussed this morning at the CCSA and detailed just now in the Thai briefing regards guidance and measures for New Year's celebrations in Thailand, which I will detail a little bit later on in the briefing today. The third topic discussed this morning was that the CCSA reviewed the overall situation of the Omicron variant relating to possibly implementing more stringent measures, both regarding entry into the country as well as New Year's celebrations. Let me underline here that nothing has been approved, and the CCSA will continue to discuss any and all proposals that are coming from specific line agencies, all of which must be approved by the Cabinet. So please stay tuned for those updates and rest assured that any decision taken by the CCSA will be carefully weighed and thought through. Let me now return to our usual updates that I have for audiences at home, and that is first an update on Thailand Pass. We are nearing the end of our second month of reopening, and as of today, we have logged a total of 627,119 applications on the Thailand Pass system. You see that slide on screen in front of you, which details that during 1 to 19 December 2021, a total of 160,445 travelers entered Thailand. Of this number, the majority, or 138,181 travelers, entered via the Test and Go or quarantine exemption scheme. 18,449 entered via the Sandbox scheme, and the remaining 3,815 travelers via the alternative quarantine scheme. The top 10 countries entering Thailand includes Germany, the UK, Russia, the US, France, Sweden, Singapore, UAE, Norway, and South Korea. Out of this total number of travelers, only 348 tested positive for COVID-19, which represents 0.22%. Let me turn now to progress in our vaccination drive with another slide up for you. Yesterday, we administered 136,992 doses of the vaccine, increasing the accumulated number of vaccinations to more than 99.89 million doses. That's 99.89 million. 70.2% of Thailand's population has now received their first dose, and 61.6% have received their second dose. With the new Omicron variant detected globally and now locally, the government is also focusing on providing the booster dose to ensure that we are all well protected against the Omicron variant. And for our expat community and friends in Thailand who've already received their 2 doses, please check the information on screen there for your registration for that 3rd booster dose. Turning now to the general situation in the country, we have happily reporting new confirmed cases at a lower level today, 2,525 cases, which brings our accumulated total to a little over 2 million cases. New recoveries, nearly double, 4,190 cases, bringing total recoveries also to a little over 2 million, and unfortunately still recording new fatalities at 31 cases today. In the next slide, you will see the top 10 provinces that are recording COVID-19 cases. And as you know, the numbers in green represent a number less than the previous day, the number in red more than the previous day. So you see Bangkok there at 408 new cases in red. Turning now to COVID-free setting measures for the new year. And this was what I mentioned earlier, was discussed quite at length at the CCSA this morning. We have a number of slides up for you. These are measures put in place to help all of us celebrate the festive season safely and without risking infection. So the infographic there you see describe the parameters for holding COVID-free countdown parties with at least 1,000 participants. A COVID-free setting comprises COVID-free personnel, which means that organizers, staff, singers, musicians, entertainment staff, that is, must be fully vaccinated as well as undergo ATK tests 72 hours prior to the event. What we mean by COVID-free customers would be visitors, or we are asking visitors to register in advance and also must be fully vaccinated, except for children under 12 years old coming in with their parents and with a negative ATK test result issued 72 hours prior to the event. Customers are also required to use the Thai Save Thai application or another COVID-19 screening platform to evaluate yourselves before entering the event. Of course, the practice of universal prevention measures and DMHTT are also a must for both personnel and customers. Again, that's distancing, mask wearing, hand washing, temperature screening, testing, and application. Most of the requirements also are there for organizers of the event to implement in order to ensure that the environment is COVID-free. This is all I have for today. The Omicron situation is fast evolving. Please stay calm and rest assured that the health officials and all government personnel are maintaining a very high vigilance and trying to balance all the important considerations necessary. We will continue to count on your understanding, continue to appreciate your cooperation to do what we can to keep safe this holiday season. Thank you for joining us today and สวัสดีค่ะ
ครับขอบพระคุณนะครับผอ.มาลตีนริตาอันดาโมนะครับผู้อำนวยการกองประมวลและวิเคราะห์ข่าวกรมสารนิเทศกระทรวงการต่างประเทศนะครับและทั้งหมดคือการแถลงข่าวจากสบคประจำวันนี้นะครับผมสุพนันท์ ฤทธิ์มนตรีพร้อมทีมงานทั้งหมดลาไปก่อนครับสวัสดีครับ